Good morning. I am coming to you on vacation right before all of the kids go back to school from Anna Maria Island. And so I'm in a different setting. And to be honest, this week has been very stressful about learning the mythology and how I would apply it. I was having some inner conflict with learning some of that stuff just because of my belief system. So I was trying to keep an open mind and just try and figure out how to respect the knowledge that I'm learning, and yet how I will actually incorporate certain things into my practice. And so I have my computer sitting here with some notes in it that I took, and instead of me actually teaching through how I would on the mat, I figure I would come to you on this mat in complete honesty about how I'm going to incorporate the mythology and symbolism into my practice. I actually love the symbolism. And Steph, you are so knowledgeable in how you're sharing the backstories. And a lot of my practice when I teach is geared towards a certain theme. So like I will teach yoga poses and essential oils for PMS. And we did a lot of work with the stomach and essential oils. But then when you shared the story of Cobra and how when you are in the position of Cobra and your belly is laying on the mat, and if you think about your body being symbolizing a cobra, and what cobras felt was the vibrations, and you can think of grounding yourself to the earth and using that as a gentle massage. I immediately thought of that class that I taught, which I had not incorporated Cobra in, and now I'm like, ooh, I will absolutely incorporate that pose into that flow and talk about the symbolism of the Cobra. And so I love that. And then I thought a little bit more about lotus, which is actually a very difficult pose for me to get into because of my knees. But what I loved again was the symbolism of a lotus flower, which is so beautiful, comes out of the mud or the dirt, and symbolizing how we can think of this pose as opening ourselves up to something new and beautiful, as we've all, especially if we're talking about the stresses of this world we're living in and how we want to come into this yoga flow and just feel something new and beautiful. I can absolutely think or talk about that symbolism of how something beautiful can come from what we would perceive as maybe ugly or dirty. And then, what was the last one I was looking at? Oh, I loved the description of when we are actively, reaching our hands to the sky for our sun salutations, and we're taking a deep breath and we're actively reaching our hands up to the sky. I loved your description, and I will absolutely be using this in my own practice, is as we actively reach up, I want you to think about the gratitude that we are going to be offering out into the world, because I am such a huge gratitude journaler, and through this process with journaling how I've been feeling, it has been eye-opening, because I felt like I was a little more prepared in some ways, and now I'm realizing not so much. And then in other ways, I feel like I'm actually more prepared than I thought I was. So this journey has been beautiful for me, and I hope that I'll be able to incorporate some of this symbolism into my practice to just kind of enlighten people a little bit more about where each pose came from, how it can symbolize something new and beautiful. I also like with Cobra the shedding of the skin. It's kind of like you're opening up your head and heart, you're alert, you're ready to be aware of what's around you, and you're shedding off all the unneeded things. That to me is a beautiful symbol, and I can see myself using these kinds of things. So as I'm actually going to go back and rewatch all of those videos again, and I listened to them all once without taking notes, and now I'm going to go back and listen to them again and take some notes about specific little words and little phrases I'm going to be using as I teach through a certain pose. But I just want you to know, Steph, that I really appreciate how you explain every pose. I love that you've actually given the mythology and then you also give the symbolism, because it helps me relate. And I actually do enjoy the stories of mythology, but it is too magical for me to move into my practice. So I much rather take the symbolism of a pose and add that in. So thank you for giving us this assignment, regardless of the fact that it made me very uncomfortable. But I'm a strong believer that we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, whether it's in a pose or whether it's something we're trying to learn. And one of the reasons I took this 300 hours is I knew absolutely without a shadow of a doubt it was going to challenge me. And here we are in week 2 and you're already challenging me. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you allowing us to just meet you right where we're at this moment. And as I grow more into a yoga teacher and grow more into the confidence that I need in order to, be the best person I can possibly be too. So thank you for all that. I appreciate that.